All right, welcome back, watch fans. Got a special episode for you for Watch Talk Thursday. We're talking about really the ultimate Patek Philippe, and this is something which is really interesting. Not a lot of people are paying attention to it, and that is the Patek Rare Handcrafts line. I mean, has kind of been under the radar. This has really been under the radar of most collectors. One of the reasons is because this is really the top of the food chain. This is the top of the food chain for Patek Philippe and really all watch collectors. It's the Ne Plus Ultra. That's what this is. That is what this is. We're talking about the Rare Handcrafts line, the stuff that they're doing in enamel, marquetry, engraving, all these things. And why is this becoming so interesting right now? I'll tell you the reason, my friends. The reason is when I first kind of saw some of the earlier examples that Patek did, I thought it was kind of hokey. I thought it was a little bit kitschy. And you know what? Look, to be fair, some of the early stuff wasn't that great. And now these guys are really starting to to hit their stride. And what they're doing now is absolutely incredible. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, guys, before we get into it, make sure you get our free weekly newsletter. That is, and I just realized that I don't think the link is in this video right now. But you know what? Let me just do this. Let me do this while I have this. Let's do this right now. Let me just do this. Let me put up the link just to make sure that you don't miss out on this. Hang on one second. Here we go. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, the link now is in the video. So if you want to get access to our free weekly newsletter, just click that link in the video description below. And by the way, here is what you're going to get exactly. Here is a little screenshot on the right. Basically, is what it looks like. And again, we watch market news, prices, rumors, gossip, all that good stuff. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Patek Philippe Rare Handcraft line. What is so incredible about this? Let me just pull this up because I want to take this off the screen here. Okay. Now look, they came out with this announcement, just the other day that they're putting out these special, the Rare Handcrafts line, and all the tomato cans, all the peasants, they focus on the really basic stuff, kind of the low-hanging fruit, the simpleton stuff, which is this like really kind of, I think it's kind of a silly watch, which is the surfer watch, right? Everybody feels, oh, the surfer, oh, it's marquetry, oh, and they really completely miss the point. Like, why is Patek doing these things? Which are the models that you should be buying? Is there a way that you can make money with this, right? Look, at the end of the day, what this channel is all about, what our shows are all about, is for serious collectors who are interested. Obviously, yeah, sure, they're interested in high horology or whatever it is. They're interested in watches, but at the end of the day, you want to it's an investment, right? You want to be able to make money. Now, this watch is what all the peasants were focusing on. And I think this is kind of a kitschy watch, quite frankly. Yeah, the technique is amazing, but it's a little bit dull. It's boring. Who cares? I mean, look, it's amazing to do this type of marquetry work. I'm going to skip this because it's disgusting, in my opinion. Now, I mean, again, let me just say, whoever took the time to do this, it's an amazing amount of work. It's really incredible craftsmanship. The image, though, the composition is quite dull and boring. It's really been, I think, kind of a wasted effort. I don't know who this is geared for, but let's get into this. And this is what grabbed my attention. This is why I am doing this live stream. This is why I'm interested in this topic. And we're going to kind of go down, we'll kind of go down this little rabbit hole over here. And why I think this is something that you guys need to keep your eye on, especially, look, if you're interested in, as a collector, keep an eye on this, because this is kind of where the puck is heading, okay? Now, this is what got my attention, okay? It's a pocket watch, right? Okay, it's a pocket watch. Not everybody's into pocket watches, right? But again, I think the pocket watch thing is going to get traction. I'm only interested in vintage watches, vintage pocket watches, I should say, not so much new release, unless it's something like this. And again, I'm not the buyer for this. Let me just be very clear. I am not the customer for this. Who is the customer for this? It has got to be basically, we're talking about not even the 1%. We're talking about the 0.11001%. We're talking about the, what is that word? Very VIP. You know, there was a con artist, this girl in Anna Delvey. There was a famous scandal in New York. You can look it up. But she had this line she called very, not just VIP, very VIP. Now this line of marquetry, this line of handcraft is for the very VIP Patek customers. This is not for the average tomato can. Not for the guy who's buying a perpetual calendar for 300 grand. That's not for that guy. He's not going to have access to this. This is for the guy who has already maybe 20 Pateks. Okay, it's like the Michael Ovitz. When Michael Ovitz was collecting Pateks, where they would put his initials on the watches, he would commission special dials. That's who this is for. Somebody who's got maybe like a $10 million spending history. Okay, so what makes it special? Now, by the way, let me show you the stand. So this watch, it's a pocket watch, right? And it comes on a stand. It's white gold, marquetry and enamel. The stand is white gold. And I believe, now the base, I'm not sure what that is. It could be enamel, but this is white gold. Is it solid white gold? I don't know. But, what we're looking at here right now is, look, this is going beyond watches. It's going beyond, horology. Okay, this is transcendent. Okay, what Patek is doing right now is they are transcending mere horology. They're kind of crossing this kind of, I don't know, the barrier, but they're kind of going into really the world of art. Okay, and really not even art. It's things at a very, very high level. Now this bird, right? I think it's an egret, I believe. Here's what's amazing about this. I'll tell you what grabbed my attention, and all of a sudden, this is the watch that made me start paying attention to this line of Patek. Yeah, Anna Delvey. Anna Delvey definitely is. She might be on the VIP list for Patek. She very well could be. So here's what's amazing about this watch. Take a very close look at this, right? This is, by the way, is marquetry. Okay, this is marquetry. This is made from. Let me look at my notes here. This is made from 50 parts, 400 inlays, 18 species of wood. These things are like microscopic. And beyond the technique, right? So look, when it comes to art, when it comes to these things, there's a couple things, right? You have obviously the technique, and people are going to be going crazy about that technique. I think another channel was talking about like the surfer watch or whatever. And the guy was completely missed the point. The guy completely missed the point. And I think that was this guy Higgins or whatever, whatever this guy calls, this crayon eater calls himself. He was talking about the horology and the surfer. He missed the point. Look, when you're talking about art, right, and this is really, you want to call it applied art. I mean, this crosses over into fine art, maybe even more. You got a couple things happening. You have obviously the technique, right? There's an incredible technique. There's literally maybe a handful of people on the planet that can do this. When I say handful, literally, there could be maybe 2-3 people. You have the technique is number one. You got to be able to do that. The execution, the technical execution, which is incredible. But even more important is the composition, the design, the image that you choose to put, on this thing. And this egret, and also the subject matter, right? The subject matter. What is the subject? What are you gonna invest your time in painting, right? So like any artist, they got to think of, what am I going to paint? What's the subject matter? How am I going to do it? What colors am I going to use? So all those things all tied together. Now, the surfer, I think, was kind of the subject matter. I think was kind of a little bit dull. Execution, colors, very boring, right? Boring. Now, again, you got this enamel dial, beautiful dial. Okay, Breguet numerals. I'm not a fan of the Breguet numerals, but okay. And the enamel, we've seen this before. Listen, it's very good. It's could be exceptional even, but no. What got me is this this over here. Look, when you look at this bird, right? Yeah, you're going to think, oh, the bird. What makes it special? Do you guys understand that this is actually literally, this is a masterpiece? Now, I don't know if the composition is original, right? I don't know if it's an original composition. It's probably inspired or it's copied from Audubon or some other compositions or some other artist. But what this guy got right, and by the way, my hats off to whoever did this, the Stern family. This is a masterpiece. I'm gonna explain to you why. Now, Baron Pavel. Yeah, Higgins. You're right. That's okay. So look. So here's the thing, right? This. Let me explain to you what makes it special. You know, a great artist. The mark of a great artist. If you want to know what is, you know, when you're looking at a painting, you're looking at a portrait or whatever it is. There's two things you want to look at, and that is the mark of a master. Okay, what separates, you know, Leonardo da Vinci, Velázquez, any of these guys, right? You got to look at the hands and the eyes, right? So those are the two things which are very hard to capture, and those are the things which create what's called, you know, verisimilitude, right? So it's kind of the image of life, right? It looks like something very lifelike. Now again, the artist doesn't have to be photorealism. Okay, it doesn't have to be like realistic, like, oh my God, it looks like a photo. No, that's a technique. That's not the mark of a great artist. A great artist will, with a slight dab of paint, will at the eye level. I'm going to show you an example right now. It's going to make it look like something which looks lifelike, right? So again, you want to look at the hands, how well the hands are painted, and also the eye. So what you're looking at, and I'm going to show right now, is basically when you're looking at the eyes in a painting, it's got to look lifelike. And this is what this guy did in this painting. So I'm going to zoom in over here. Look at the eye of this egret. If you look at the close-up, you're going to see the eye is like wet. It's got moisture. There's a little tiny dot of white right above the iris, or the black part of the eye. There's a little piece of white. What is that? That's the reflection of light. So great artists are always playing with light. They want to show the light reflecting on the person, and that is what creates that lifelike imagery, and it's an incredible effect. Now let me show you something incredible. Right? Hang on a second. Okay. I'm going to show you some. Okay, so this is, you guys may have looked at this before, right? This is a National Gallery of London portrait by what's his name, Van Dyck, right? Okay, you think, okay, it's a portrait of an old guy, big deal. Let me tell you something. This might be one of the greatest paintings ever created, and let me show you why. So you got like an old guy, right? Now look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. Okay, can you see this? Hang on a second. Okay, do you see the eyes? What do you see in the eyes? You see there's like white, there's like a little white. The eyes look wet. They look moist. It's like, you see that? There's like, and this was done, look, by the way, these guys do a great job. This was done with just a few dabs of white paint. That effect was done with just a few dabs of white paint by Van Dyck, and that's what makes this guy, I mean, again, this might be his greatest work. It's kind of people don't even look at this painting, right? They're always looking at, something else. This is probably the greatest painting in the museum. See that effect? You got the white, it's the light reflecting, bouncing off his eye. And that was done with just a few dabs of paint. Like, it's not noticeable. It's an incredible, incredible effect. And it's like this guy is looking right at you, lifelike. It is something incredible. Now, the same thing we're seeing with this bird, right? With the bird, it's got that same type of effect happening, and whoever did that is again, it's done with a tiny piece of wood, because it's hundreds of pieces of wood species, colors, etc. It is so incredible. Now look, most of the peasants watching it's over your heads, right? Look, who are they appealing to? Who is Patek appealing to? It's kind of like Rolls-Royce, right? If you look at Rolls-Royce, yeah, look, anybody with money can buy a Rolls, right? But the average peasant, right, the average tomato can, they're going to buy, something basic. They're going to buy the basic bitch rolls. They're going to buy the Rolls Cullinan or the Ghost. They're going to buy, the one that's black exterior or white exterior, and the, black interior or white interior, whatever. No. And they're going to have some basic package. No. The guy who's a serious customer, right? The guy who's a serious customer, he's going to order the bespoke package. He's going to get very unique woods. He's going to get special colors of leather. It's going to be something incredible. And he's going to choose a special color of paint. He's going to get some incredible shade of paint. And that is what's going to make the difference. That's what's going to separate that car from the other 4,000, or I don't know, I think they make 5,000 cars a year. It's going to separate that one car from the other 5,000. And by the way, now I don't know if Rolls is ever going to be, modern Rolls is ever going to be collectible. But when you're looking at car collectors or anything like that, at the end of the day, they're looking for that spec. They want that special spec. That special colors on the exterior, the interior, all that stuff. So that is same thing here. So, really Patek is appealing to that 1% of the market, and that is worth paying attention to. Why? Why is that? Well, here's the thing. Because I believe at some point these rare handcraft, the rare handcraft line, and we've seen a couple of these things coming onto the market, right? I think it was a Sotheby's. They have an example like this that's coming up for auction next week, which is from the 1980s. It was with jewels. It's gold. It's a little bit gaudy. It doesn't have the marquetry, right? The marquetry, by the way, I'll go into the history of it in just a moment. But the people who are buying this is, you were talking about like, it would have been done in the 19th century, would have been like literally for royalty. Maharajas, the Indians loved this stuff. The Maharajas of India. Now, then in the 50s, it was the Gulf states, the Gulf royalty, whatever they call themselves, right? Because, these guys are basically can, write a check for $5 billion, right? They don't know what to do with the money, right? So what do you want? You want the thing that nobody else has. Nobody else has this. It's the one of one. The opportunity is this, right? If somebody is looking at this stuff and, they really have some deep pockets, you can put together a collection of these, right? A collection, 5, 10 of these. And there's a whole bunch of them that came out. Very few of them are available. But if one guy put together a collection of like some of these whether it's the pocket watches, etc. And by the way, I think the real money is on the pocket watches because now what's happened is now they've created these special stands. It means now you can display it. You could put it on your desk. You could put it like on a credenza behind you. You could arrange it in a room like paintings, like artwork. It would be an incredible effect. We talked about this on a live stream the other day, right? If you have 10 of these, you can create a special room. Again, it's not for the average tomato can, right? You're talking about a guy who has, who might be living in a, 30-room mansion. There's a lot of space, right? You have a special Patek salon, which you create just to display these watches. And by the way, that is something that is the market that Patek is going after. They have those clients, right? They have guys who will spend 10 million. Look, there's a guy who's flexing on Instagram. There's a guy with a Swiss Caveau. He's flexing his AP collection. He ordered like the five Royal Oaks with the jewels. It's like emeralds, sapphires, whatever, diamonds, whatever it is. He's got, I think it's a collection of 7 watches. It's a one of one, right? It's a set of 7. But you know what I think? I think it's kind of a basic bitch move. You know why? Who are you gonna show that to? What are you gonna wear one each week? You're not gonna impress anybody with that, right? When you have this, basically now you have art. But now you can take it off. You could take it off the stand. You could take that pocket watch off the stand, put it in your pocket, in your vest, right? And by the way, listen, a lot of these guys, they do have 3-piece suits. They may not wear them, but they'll order them, right? Just to be able to wear the pocket watch. It is really, really interesting. So you put together 8 or 10 of these, you can display them, and it's a wow factor. Nobody else has it. And look, when you have all the money in the world, what is it that you want? You want what nobody else has. You want what nobody else has. Listen, what separates, there's a rivalry, right? Whether it's, Bernard Arnault versus, was it the other guy, Pinot, the two French guys, is Arnault and Pinot, multi-billionaires, right? They're jockeying for, top position in the luxury market, right? And both of these guys are big art collectors. But what they want is they want to flex. They build museums to show off their collection. That is what you do when you got a lot of money, right? And there's no better way of doing it than with the line of these rare handcraft watches. Because when you have one of these, basically you're telling the world, hey, you know what? I got more money than I know what to do with, and I have impeccable taste. With this, now, again, you got to be choosy. It's got to be only this clock, right? This pocket watch, not the Surfer. That's going to go to like some tomato can. Sorry. Okay, now let's talk about why Patek is doing it. We'll go a little bit into the history. Okay, let me just jump into this over here. Now, you guys may have seen this, the famous racer. Okay, so this is some of the stuff that they've done. Now, this is, there we go. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, listen, by the way, I think that Rolls does make, they do have, if you order a Bespoke Rolls, they do have a pocket watch, I believe, that you can actually take out. There's usually a clock, and you can take it out and wear it, right? They do that. I think it's only in a fantail. I think it's called a sweep tail. I think it's called a sweep tail. So it's really quite amazing. I'm gonna zoom in on this. Now, this example over here is done. This is done a little while back. They got a Tiger. Now, again, the Tiger, I think, is okay in terms of the execution. Not as good. Not as good as the Bird. Not as good. Why? Look at the eyes, right? Look at the eyes. Again, I think he copied this composition, but it's not as well done. It's not as well done. The technique is amazing. Okay, the technique is absolutely amazing. And by the way, when it comes to like wildlife stuff, when I was in the art business, there was, the guys who collect the wildlife art, that is a whole subset of collectors. And those guys have big money. That's big money. It's like guys who are usually, they hunt, exotic game. They go on safaris. It's usually, it's a lot of Texans, guys from, out west, guys, in the oil business, really, interesting stuff. Now, let me just pull this back up over here. Okay, so let me just pull up the Tiger. Again, the Tiger, not as well done. Again, the technique is great, right? They're using, again, engraving, enamel. I believe this is marquetry, and again, the stand is all okay. So this is the clock. Again, not my thing. Not my thing. This is a very, like, I don't know who this appeals to. Maybe like an Indian, or maybe like a Thai. Somebody, I don't know. They have tigers. Somebody from Indonesia or something like that. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so if you look at the eyes of the Tiger, the eye of the Tiger, right? Look at the eye of the Tiger. It doesn't have that. I mean, the eyes are wide open, which is okay, but maybe it's hard to execute. It's difficult. Look, by the way, these whiskers. Look at the whiskers on the Tiger. Look at those whiskers. Each of those is a tiny piece. If I'm not mistaken, it's got to be marquetry. It's a piece of marquetry. I don't think it's paint. I think it's marquetry. And look at this. They got another one for fishermen. Same thing here. This one, again, not quite as good, but it's probably done by the same guy who did that Surfer. It's not easy to depict water. And again, you don't see the eye action. The eye is not, you don't have that glistening in the eye. The water, the splash is done. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. I mean, look, it's difficult. Okay, the Bird, marquetry again. Again, you're missing the eye action. So I think they're using different artists. I'd like to know the details, who's doing these, because the technique is actually very, very different. Very, very different. Free Joe Exotic. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Joe Exotic. I mean, yeah, that is let me see here. Let me see here. Okay, so again, the technique is not as good as what we saw with that egret. That thing just got my attention. When I saw that, I was like, wow. That was like, wow. When I look at these, I'm like, it's okay. Listen, there's a famous, listen, there's the way you judge this stuff, the way you judge art is, there's a guy, what is his name? I think is it Leonard Lauder, from Estee Lauder, the cosmetics company. These guys are, billionaires, major art collector. And, this guy's buying stuff for 100 million bucks, 50 million bucks, buying at the top of the food chain, right? He's got his own museum, basically. He was talking about how do you, he was asked, how do you judge paintings? How do you choose between one or the other, right? Because, he says, look, there's 3 categories. There's 3 types of art. You look at one painting and it's like, oh, okay, this is nice. Now this thing is, I'm looking at this and it's, oh, okay, it's nice. It's very nice, right? Okay, impressive, right? Then there is, oh my, wow, that's like something really special. And then you have, oh my God, right? Oh my God. It's like, wow. It doesn't get better. And that's what this is. This piece, if you have to choose anything that Patek did, this is the one. This is the OMG. This is the, this is the one if you're like a real collector. If you got, and if this is still available, that's the one you get. That is the one you get. Now, okay, so let's talk about what they did, right? So they got the marquetry, right? The marquetry, many pieces of wood. By the way, there's a couple of guys, literally, there's only a couple of guys who do this marquetry stuff. Now, all of them are in France. I think there's one place in the US, but no, the guys are really good. They're all in France. There is a company called Eli Blue, right? They make humidors. They make also case, cabinets, whatever. What are they called? Ébénistes, they're called, right? So I have an Eli Blue humidor, which I've had for a number of years, right? And I missed the boat because the one I have is just a basic, it's the wood, whatever, Macassar wood. I missed out on an opportunity to get the one that was the Chagrin, the Stingray. The prices were unbelievable. They were selling at discounts years back. And, I was like, what do I need another one for? And, we got the Baron Red. Hang on a second. Baron, are you able to make it? Are you able to hop on? I mean, I'm sorry I got you last minute. Hang on, Baron. Let me get. There we get this. Okay, Baron, if you can hop on. If you can hop on, I know you're busy. You're busy with the guitar lessons. But this is Sorry about that. We got to get these things more organized. But anyway, here's the thing, right? So I went to Eli Blue, right? And because they do these. Oh, Baron, are you able to talk? Do you have time? Are you doing your guitar?
Yeah, I can only stay maybe for like 5, no more than 10 minutes because I got to head out the door to hit my lesson.
Oh shit! Okay. Were you online? Did you see the stuff? Did you see the stuff we were looking at with the egret and all that?
Yeah, I saw it, and yeah. Okay, so in terms of the art stuff, I mean, a lot of it's like over my head, But because I only took like one like art class like in college years and years ago, but I could follow along with some of the stuff you're saying, and then I did notice that some of the other examples you were showing, and you're saying how it wasn't as good. I was also thinking back to, I brought this up other times before, but the colors look really dull on the other ones, and that's what separates the egret from the other ones is the vibrancy of the colors, and that it just goes back to what you said, like a couple of videos ago, like a long time ago, bright colors and simple forms. And then, yeah.
By the way, I got that from somebody else. I didn't. I heard that from. It was wow. Okay, I get it. Bright colors. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because those colors really stand out as opposed to the Marlin and then the Surfer. I mean, they might be technically amazing, but yeah. So they don't pop. They're not vibrant. Because like when you have a piece of art like that, you don't want it to blend into the background. You want it to stand out. So other people, you know, their eyes, you want it to be drawn to the piece.
Yeah,
And
and you
then
know what? And what I was saying is what I see. I've seen these things before. Now we're looking at here. This is a Rob Report article. They did this for the Japanese market, right? So this is very Japanese. And you know, I've seen these things, like it never got my attention. I thought they were always a little bit kitschy, right? But then, you know, when they did that egret that we were looking at, it was like, wow, whoever did this, you know, they nailed it. They nailed it.
yeah. So okay. So now I'm wondering, right? Just, you know, I left the comments in the chat. I'm thinking, okay, you know, they're only going to make a handful of these pieces, right? Let's say they've got a dozen or so. And then they've got, let's say, 2 that are like amazing, and then they've got like 10 that are just like, you know, and they're good, but they don't pop. What do you think about is, okay, you know, well, we've got our 2 like standout pieces. We move those to you know, like high profile wealthy people, and then they show them off to their friends, and then their friends are gonna be like, oh shit, you know, I'm not gonna be the one that doesn't have one. I want one too, and that's the only one that's available. It's not as good, but you know, I'm just gonna have one just to have one.
Yeah, look at this tiger. This is really good. This is like, what is it, cloisonne? This is really nice. Look at this. You know, it's the composition. You got the expression, of the tiger, and the eyes. See the eye? They got the white bouncing off a little bit. I mean, it's kind of hard to do, but they nailed it here. You see, there's a white. See, this tiger looks lifelike because there's the light is bouncing off the eyeballs. That you know, it gives it a lifelike expression. You know. So that is. By the way, look, I'm doing this. I was gonna actually do this live stream at a different time. I was gonna prepare stuff or whatever, but you know, I figured, hey, why not do it? Because it's hard to kind of really organize this in a format to really, you know, go step by step. But, you know, I just wanted to kind of, I'm doing this just to kind of like, you know, it's almost really for my own like articulation, so to speak, to kind of understand it better. Maybe we'll do a deeper dive another time, because this really is kind of like a rabbit hole. But it's not for the average punter. Look, we have like 15 people watching this. This video is probably going to get like 200 views. But whoever's going to be watching is probably going to be like the guys who are really, really interested in this. So this is a copy of like Mucha, you know, the Art Nouveau painting. And I don't like that so much. I mean, it's kind of, because the problem is if it's a really well-known art, you can't copy it. I don't like that. I don't like copies of famous paintings, which are really well-known, because it makes it look basic. Now, again, this is also not as great. I mean, like we saw the waves. Remember we saw that Nautilus with the waves, the dragon with the clouds, right? It was the clouds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Those clouds were done in diamonds and they were amazing. Here we see clouds, or I don't know, I guess it's clouds with enamel. Not as good. And it's easier to do it here than with diamonds. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, I see, because it's like, it doesn't even look like clouds. I mean, I think they did a good job with I guess they could be like trees or shrubs right below the mountain. And I like the way they did the water.
The owl is beautiful. You know, the only thing is it's very gray. It's a Japanese thing that they like these colors, though. They like these subtle, very subtle. I mean, this thing probably looks amazing. I don't know, this is enamel or what is this? So the owl, what is this? Closing it. Hang on. The owl. Okay. Enamel paint. Okay, this is done with enamel. This is enamel. So, I mean, it's pretty good. Right, so, I mean, the owl.
Yeah. So what do you think about, you know, when they do art like this that looks too realistic, like it looks like almost like a photo? What do you think about art?
Yeah. Like okay. Did you tune in at the beginning of the show?
Yeah. I caught the yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So basically, yes, I was saying, look, there's, you know, the mark of a master, right? Look. There is a lot of guys who do photo-realism, right? I think there's a whole school of art called, you know, photo-realism. What do they call it? Photo-real? Yeah, that started like in the 70s. And guys basically they make a painting that looks almost like a photo, right? There's a guy, I think Richard Estes, I believe, is the guy who's the famous guy. And you know, it's technically it's incredible, right? but those guys never really got any respect because, you know, a lot of artists can do that. It's technique, but it's not. You see, let me show you something, okay? What you're looking at here, this painting I keep talking about, this is the mark of a master, right? Because this is, you know, you're leaving stuff to the imagination, right? Great art, right? The thing with great art is it captures the essence, right? The idea is to capture the essence and then leave things to your imagination, right? So you're looking at this guy over here, right? And the artist, he's captured the essence of this guy. I mean, this basically is capture the soul, right? And you know, the thing with the white on the eyes, the glistening of the eyes, because that you're basically seeing the light, you know, just a dab of paint right there at the side of the eyes, which is like moisture, whatever. It's like he's, you know, blinking, whatever. That nobody does that unless they're a master, right? That is, to think of that, to do that is like incredibly difficult. Okay, that is basically so. I mean, great art is it's about, you know, atmosphere, things to the imagination. It's not about being, you know, photorealist. And I think when we saw that egret that they did, right, the bird, the bird is, you know, it's kind of, it straddles the two, right? It's realistic enough, right? But if you look at the eye, you look at that eye, it's like, wow. And that's done with a tiny piece of wood, right? It's a marquetry.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted your opinion on, because I was thinking, okay, so the egret, I get you there. And then if we can go back to the owl, I think the owl looks too like it looks too real. It looks too much like a photo.
You know, no, I think, hang on, so let's okay, wait, hang on. They got a bunch of these. Well, look at this, by the way. Let me zoom in on this since I have it. Okay, this is cool. So they're doing engraving. They're doing, okay, this is impressive, right? They're really throwing everything at it, right? They want to impress you technically with their technical skill. They got it's white gold, obviously. It's enamel. There's engraving. I mean, you see what's going on? They got so many techniques. And I think the base is some sort of stone, probably. Look at this. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, this is beautiful. Look at this.
Yeah.
You see this?
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, I'm also thinking, you know, like a lot of things in life, it's when you try to display like all this technique and this stuff, and you cram everything in, it actually takes away from it. It's when you have these simple things, like when you're cooking something, you have something that's only got like 5 ingredients. It's like everything has to stand out. Everything has to be perfect, and that's more difficult in doing something that's like, okay, we got 40 ingredients, and everything's kind of like, you know, it.
That's exactly, you know, that's exactly what we're talking about with that painting. You know, this again, this Van Dyke again. You know, he could, you know, it's just a dab of paint, right? Very simple. Yeah. Black background. Look at the collar. Look at the guy's collar, right? I mean, by the way, Van Dyke. I mean, this guy's technically, he could do whatever he wants, right? He could be incredible. But look at it. It's all done with little dabs of paint, and it just gives you the feeling, right? It's almost like impressionist art in a way, right? He just gives you enough. Now, it's all like the secret here is that you have these kind of like, it's almost a little bit abstract, right? A lot of the painting is abstract. There's not a lot of detail, like the collar. You don't see his clothes, right? You don't really see that, right? It's just black, right? What makes it impressive, when he goes to the eyes, when he does the eyes, he does this incredible lifelike thing. And now your focus goes to those eyes. That's what makes this thing an absolute masterpiece. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking amazing.
And then I agree. Yeah. And then so the rest of it, you know, that I would equate that to like a simple form, you know, because they're not filling it in. And then it's like your imagination could be whatever you want. It could be like, you know, I guess, you know, to an extent.
So here's, okay, so this is what, so the story is they started doing this 2008, right? That's when they did their first marquetry piece, and they started doing this handcraft line. And I'll go into the details later, but you know, but this is they had the big exhibit in New York, right? That big show in New York that Patek did, and they wanted to show off this technique, right? They wanted to show it off, so they did 5 of these pocket watches. Again, here's why I think this whole pocket watch thing is incredible, because they create these bespoke stands, right? It's a bespoke stand. It's made out of white gold and whatever metal is, plus what is this stone that the Indians love? What is this? The blue. What the hell is it called? The blue turquoise, diamonds, and there's diamonds also, right? But these photos suck. These photos are really bad. But okay, now here's the one they did for Napa Valley, right? And you know, and if you look, it's not as good, whatever. But again, you got engraving, gold. You know, again, like you said, there's a lot going on. They've thrown everything at it. Sometimes it's better just to do simple. Now they did this Mount Rushmore again with engraving, enamel, everything, right? They're doing this thing here. I don't think that stuff is impressive. I mean, like that doesn't impress me. Like this, I don't care about this portrait of George Washington. That's not impressive. That's been done, right? Let me show you something cool. Let me show you something cool here. Okay, so the owl. The owl is kind of abstract. It's not really real. It's not realistic. It's painterly. It is painterly. So I give it I think this is good. And again, you know, it's appealing to kind of the Japanese taste. You know, very simple, kind of very, you know, just enough. I don't know what this material. I think this dot. It's just incredible, right? I mean, I don't know what the price of these. And look at this. Again, enamel. This is very like. I mean, it's very Japanese, right? By the way, so here's what I was going to say about marquetry, right? So Eli Blue, right? You know, I wanted to get this Eli Blue humidor. I wanted to get one a custom, you know, bespoke humidor, right? With the marquetry, right? So I go to Eli Blue, right? And I tell the guy, look, listen, he takes me in there, right? It's you know, they got a store in Paris, right? You go in there, and they have a couple of humidor things there. But the problem is, right, it's all made by hand. It's all made by like literally one person. And it takes a long, long time. Oh, because what Eli Blue does is they use straw marquetry, right? You know, literally pieces of straw. And they put together a whole image. Now, I wanted to basically just a graphic image, geometric. I wanted to have a geometric image, right? And hang on a second. Eli marquetry. And so what happened was, you know, I wanted like a very simple, like geometric one, and you know, they don't have them. They don't have the geometric. You know, I said, how long does it take to get one? He says, well, we have to, you know, go to the artist, show them like what your concept is, and then they need to decide if they even want to do it. Right? Hang on, they want to decide because these people are very, very, you know, it's hard work, right? It's hard work. Now, okay, this is a bad example.
No, it's not even that. That's just like an artist thing, you know. It's like it's like regardless of whether or not they're doing well financially, if it's just something they don't want to do, like they're just not going to do it.
That's right. That's the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing. So basically, you know, they're kind of like, hey, if I want to do it, if it's something that I'm interested in, okay, if I'm interested in this, I'm going to do it. If I'm not interested, oh shit, we stopped sharing here. If I'm not interested, I'm not going to do it. That's their whole thing, right? They're very, what's the word? Finicky? Well, no, what's the word I'm looking for? Finicky? What's the word?
They're very selective about their projects. They're like, I don't know, it's like it's just part of the. They're like
temperamental.
Like
they're temperamental.
Yeah,
they really are, right? Also, it's very hard work, right? And you know what they want to do? Listen, these people, the people who do this, for like at Eli Blue, for example, they really are. I mean, they're real art. I mean, artisans, real. I mean, this type of thing. There's literally only a few people who could do this, right? And so he said, he says, well, we got to go to them, and then you know, it would take about 3, I don't know, like a year, 2 years to make, you know, whatever. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I don't have time for this. I mean, like, you know, I'm not gonna order something and wait, you know, 5 years. Maybe something will come up on the market. Somebody will resell it, right? And no, it's very rare, and I can't find the one I was looking at. It's like an Art Deco shape. It was a beautiful thing. It looks kind of like almost, I don't know. Anyway, so and also what Eli Blue did was they made it.
So Colonel, just real quick, are you gonna show off your humidor for the punters? I think they'd like to see it. You know, you've been talking it up so much.
My humidor is sitting. It's very basic. It's just it's like a very basic what is it, Macassar wood. It's like just basic. It's the very basic. It's one they do a lot of. It's not special. And yeah, if I was smart, I would have gotten one of these marquetry ones. But yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's amazing. So here's the thing. So Eli Blue did a special humidor for Cohiba. hang on a second. Actually, let me pull it up. Let me pull this up, because what they did was actually incredible. What they did was, I took a picture of it. What is it? It was a one-off piece. I think it sold for like $1 million. Literally, I mean, like literally $1 million bucks, right? Hang on a sec. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I think there's a video. Oh, shoot, stupid ads. Hang on a sec. Hang on, oh, 1 second. Let me see if this comes up. Wait. Okay. Is it gonna come up? Okay, hang on. One moment. Okay, whoa, shit. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna show you this Eli Blue humidor. Okay, ready for this?
Yep. Well, let's see it.
Okay. Wait. They used gold leaf. That's gold leaf. It's tobacco leaf pressed into gold leaf and lacquered over. And when you see this, it is unbelievable. The effect when you see it, it's like stunning. It is absolutely. I think they did it like, I think they did one or they did a few, but it went for like, crazy money. I think they did cheaper ones for like 100 grand. They did one for like $1 million bucks or whatever. That thing is literally a piece of art. The humidor that they have it in their store. If you go, it's on the second floor. I think it might still be there. It might still be there on the second floor. Hang on a second. Let me go in here. Where is this? Okay, here we go. Okay, look at this. Here it comes. Okay, look at this. Okay. Wait, okay, it's lacquered. Okay, whatever. Okay. They're giving you too much like technical stuff I don't really care about. Hang on. We want to see the thing. I don't really care about like all. Okay. Oh, Jesus. This is like they're spending so much time. Okay, but those are the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the doors. There it is. Wow. And it opens up. The two doors, like a double doors, they open up. It's like you walked into King Tut's, the pyramid, the chamber, whatever.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was done for the Cohiba, I guess, the 50th anniversary. Okay, there it is. Boom. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, Colonel, I gotta go.
Okay. Okay, let me back into this over here. Okay, let's go into Patek Philippe. Okay, there we go. Okay, so all right. So what are these things going for in the market, right? What are these going for? So the basic watches, and there's a bunch of these on Chrono. It's about 100 grand plus. There's one coming up at auction. Again, this is for like women, I believe. I'm sure this is for women. This is a very feminine diamond. Yeah, so here's what's available on Chrono, right? You got a couple of interesting examples. Again, not my thing, okay, enamel, whatever. Like this to me is not really worth the money. Okay, so let's talk about the collecting aspect, the market part, all right? In my opinion, these pieces, it's going to be very tricky. If you're looking at this as an investment, it's going to be very tricky because if you're looking for it as an investment, you want something that's got an incredible image. It's got to be an incredible image. It's got to have incredible, technical technique, whether it's marquetry or something else. It's got to be just amazing. Those things are going to be very, very valuable. The other stuff is going to be very, like, I don't know, weird and hard to sell. Like this thing over here, I don't know. It's kind of like, who's the buyer for this? Somebody who's into horses. It's got that like Hermes ashtray look, or I think this I wouldn't put money into this. But that egret, the egret clock, if I had the money, yeah. Okay, so here's the Japanese kimono. Now, again, great technique, but kind of a dull image. The colors are kind of dull. I mean, definitely not for Western taste. This may be very Japanese, possibly. Again, some of these things are very Japanese. Okay, this is for women, obviously. Again, a little bit too much. They get a little too much, like, I don't know. It's a little over contrived, if you will. Now, okay, so then they did this race car. They did the race car, the famous race car. Hang on a second. Let me go to. We saw the Falcon, the Tiger. We saw the Tiger. Okay, the clocks. So okay, so here's the thing. So if you're going to go after this, right? I think you got to focus on categories, right? You got watches, you got like wrist watches, you got the clocks like this, and then you have pocket watches, and then you have also like goods. You have like cases that they did, like whatever, little trays. I think the real money is going to be in the pocket watch. In my opinion, it's the pocket watch. Those are the things that are going to be very valuable, but but there's only two ways of doing it. Either you get all of them, you have a collection, you got to have a collection. You can't have one. You got to have a collection. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth anything unless it's that really incredible example and you have somebody that really wants it. But if you have a collection, then there's a buyer for it. Because it's going to be something incredible, very rare and unusual. So you got the pocket watches, you got the clocks, and you got like the boxes and trays. So I would say the real money is in the pocket watches on the stand, because there, again, it's something that is it's versatile, right? I mean, in theory, you could wear the pocket watch, and when you come back home or to your office, you put it on the stand and you look at it. So it's really very, very versatile. A lot more than a watch, right? Because again, if you want the art, right, and this is all about the art, right? When you're buying this stuff, it's all about the art. So you got to have something that is big enough to show off that art, right? It's almost like Audemars Piguet, the Royal Oak. You want like a dial that's big enough to to show you the what do you call it, the engraving, whatever they call it, right? Whatever the thing, right? The little boxes, right? The tapisserie. You want a dial that's big enough, and usually it's 40, 41 is the right. It's the best one. Too big, it's going to be disproportional. 35, 30. I mean, 36 is okay. Like I have a 37, I believe, whatever. But you really want something close to 40. And again, if you want something, if you're going to show off this, the art, you got to have a pocket watch, because that gives you enough of a surface, enough of a canvas to work with. A wristwatch itself is just not enough. It's too crammed in. There's not enough. I mean, it's impressive. It's an impressive technical achievement, but it's okay. I guess you can wear it, whatever. But the problem is, I don't know if you're going to wear it. I mean, these things are very delicate. And the other thing is this: you want to be able to show it off, right? You're not going to invite people to like your home or office, and you have a whole room full of these of wristwatches, right? You can't show off wristwatches to a crowd of people. You can't; it's just too small. But a pocket watch is, it's big enough that people can look at it. Now, when it comes to these clocks, I think they're interesting. Look, there's guys who collect these clocks. The problem with the clocks is you can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. All right, guys, by the way, if you are just joining the channel, make sure, again, you click the link in the video description below to get access to our weekly newsletter, right? The weekly newsletter, you want to get that newsletter. It's free. The link is in the video description below. It's watch market news, auction previews, results, latest prices, Rolex, AP, Patek, all the top brands. All right, let's get back to the program. So let's talk about, okay, so we'll talk about some of the techniques. I mean, I don't want to get into a whole boring discussion of the technical stuff, like, marquetry, this, that. It's very impressive, right? Enamel, engraving, great. Now, the question is, so, we talked about who this is for, right? Who's the market that Patek is going after? They're really going after, like, the Patek collector who already may have, a $10 million collection, right? The guy has everything, right? He already has everything. And this is kind of like the 20th watch or the 15th watch. Like, he may have, a whole bunch, minute repeaters, the celestial, all that complication stuff. But what he doesn't have something like this, which really is the showcase of art, right? So they want it's something special for a very unique customer. This is really for the guy who orders that the bespoke rolls. It's for the guy who orders that $800,000 or $1 million package in the rolls, and not just the basic $400,000 one, right? Now the question is, why is Patek doing this, right? Why is Patek Philippe investing all this time and effort into doing these this rare handcraft line, right? Because I mean, look, instead of investing all this time and money into these, they could be just making Aquanauts and Nautilus, right? And if somebody was like running it as a business, they would do that. They would just do Aquanaut and Nautilus all day, the stuff that's selling well, and avoid this stuff, right? Because who cares about this? This is only going to go to a handful of people. I think Patek might even be losing money with these. I think Patek might be losing money with these rare handcrafts. My understanding is that when they made these clocks originally, when they made the clocks, those things were sitting for years. They were sitting for years. Hang on, let me pull. Okay, the clocks were sitting for years. Nobody wanted them. But I think it was it Thierry or Philippe, one of those guys. He basically said, "Look, we need to do this." First of all, I believe they're very passionate about these handcrafts. They're almost like Medici's, right? They're like they're literally patrons of the arts. They're like the Lorenzo the Medici, right? Or any of the Florentines in the Renaissance. That's what they are. These guys are like they're like patrons in the Renaissance, like whether it was the Medici's, whether it was the kings or the popes that supported Da Vinci, Michelangelo. Nobody needed the Sistine Chapel. I mean, nobody needed to do that. They could have done a basic paint job, right? They could have done some geometric stuff. No, they wanted to do something really unique. And by the way, don't believe this this myth about starving artists. Okay, these guys were loaded. Okay, Michelangelo was probably making the equivalent of $10 million a year, $20 million a year in today's money back in the day. All top guys, whether you're talking about Caravaggio, you're talking about maybe not Da Vinci, because Da Vinci, he was a very particular guy. But he was probably making money, but not like those guys, because they really were very productive, right? So they were highly productive, very prolific. And Rubens was probably making the equivalent of $50 million a year in today's money. With his factory, he had an assembly line of artists working there, cranking these things out. So look, the reason I believe that Patek Philippe is doing this stuff, right, is that the Stearns, they really, I don't know if they're really great aesthetic people. I don't think they're really, to be candid, I don't think they really have like, I don't think they have like great taste in terms of like, but they're very into technique. So there's two things. There's the aesthetics, there's the design, composition, there's the art, and then there's the actual technicals. I think they're definitely more technical guy. They're more into the technique. They want to preserve, and they've been very public about this, right? They said they want to preserve these crafts because, if they don't do it, it's going to die out. I mean, literally, because, there's a couple of people that can do this. Eli Blue, they got a couple people that can do this. And if those people stop, the art gets lost. If there's nobody to pass it down to, the stuff gets lost. So I think they like the technique. They like this very interesting stuff. It gives them a chance to also show off, what their abilities, what they can do. It differentiates them in the market. It differentiates them in the market because nobody else is doing this, right? And so they're doing gem setting here. Okay, so obviously, okay. So the gem setting stuff, look, a lot of people are doing gem setting. The gem setting is not as, that's not unique. Gem setting is not unique, and we could argue about who does better. I don't know who does better gems. I have no idea. Definitely Patek does the best, marquetry. I mean, they were the first ones doing marquetry. So let's talk about that. 2008, they were the first guys doing marquetry. So they want to preserve the craft. They want to differentiate themselves because look, the whole the horology, the high horology world, it's very competitive, right? And they want to be able to basically show this because they could be competing with Audemars Piguet, with Vacheron in different areas, right? For watches, right? They are competing with those guys at the top level. But when you have something like this, it's very unique. Nobody else has that, right? Who's doing this? Cartier maybe has some clocks, I believe. They do this type of thing. But look, you got a little black cat sitting. I mean, this is beautiful. This is really beautiful. I mean, this is very, very charming. Very, very charming. Look at this design. They got the hobnail. You got sort of like this Art Deco look. So what they want to do is they want to go to that, that $10 million client. I mean, literally the $10 million client and say, look, you got all this other stuff, but now, you know what? Check this out. Nobody else has this. None of your friends have this. Nobody you know has this. And this is not bad. Again, the elephants, the technique is not as good. The painting, I mean, it's not as good. You got these different watch stands. It's like a baobab tree or something. I don't know what this is called. Some African tree. Very cool. Very, very cool. I mean, this is the type of thing that one of these guys who collects a wildlife painting would buy. And those guys are big, big spenders. Interesting here is, again, you got the hands that have that drilled out thing like you see in racing. The painting itself it's okay. It's kind of like this Art Deco painting, slightly abstract. I mean, it's good. It's good. I think this is done. I think it's inspired by an Art Deco poster. I don't know. Let's take a look at these. This engraving here. This is beautiful. I mean, the technique is incredible. What they've done here. Let me pull this up. Yeah, look at this technique. This is engraving enamel. Look at this. You got this beautiful night sky. You got a butterfly. I mean, it's just so charming. It's got this atmosphere. They really capture this atmosphere. I mean, it's almost like, you ever read the book, The Little Prince, by, what is that? Uxbury? I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. Famous children's book, The Little Prince. I remember my mother reading that book to me when I was like 5 years old, and wow, what an incredible book. And when I think of The Little Prince and the drawings the guy did, it kind of reminds me of this. This is kind of that. It's got that same type of atmosphere. Really an incredible work of art. Look at this. I mean, this is where I think the engraving really shines. This thing is beautiful. Okay, now they got the ships. It's polished. I don't know. I'm not crazy about this. The enamel, very interesting. You got waves. You see the waves here in this. And this is very cool. The stand is beautiful. So here's the thing. These things are not easy to do. Somebody needs to, come up with this design. They got to come up with a design of the watch and also the stand. So those are two separate art forms. And this is, I believe it's rose gold and white gold. So the ropes are probably rose gold, and you got the cleats, for the rope to tie. And they did an incredible job. Incredible. Again, hats off. Whoever did this, hats off. And the painting is also really good. I really think they're using different artists for these different things. Some of these guys are doing better stuff than others. Okay, so this is the current, this is the current line, or when was this done? I don't know when this was done. So, they're not showing too much information here because apparently, it's like, anybody who's a prospect for this, they already own one, or Patek has already contacted. I mean, it's not like, I don't think they need to use our channel to. I don't think they need to rely on YouTube to market these. To be candid with you. Yeah, incredible stuff. And again, it's so again, they want to preserve. They want to preserve kind of this rare talent, and yeah, The Little Prince, unbelievable book. It's actually a book for adults. I mean, it's really like an adult. It's a very it's really for all ages. The Little Prince, look it up. It's a short book. You got these illustrations there. It's probably one of the greatest books ever done. Tewksbury was a pilot. I think it was in World War I, I believe. I think it was in World War I, or so. I think that was it. And I think he crashed somewhere over Africa or was shot. I don't know. I forgot the story. It was kind of a tragic story. I mean, it was really tragic. I mean, a tragic loss for the world, really. Baron G saying yes. Yeah, listen, that's the idea. The idea is this stuff is an acquired taste. It's almost like, the average guy is going to buy the rolls in, black or blue, whatever it is, and basic color. This stuff that the Patek is doing here is basically like the guy who gets the full bespoke with, some crazy color, which he really likes. Maybe it's like an emerald green leather with, some crazy wood, or they're doing even stuff even crazier. They're doing like stone on the dash. They're doing inlaid mother of pearl. They do the sky literally is the limit. You can do whatever you want, but if you do it with taste, it could be incredible. It can be incredible. Let's see here. The light, the OnlyFans light. I think it was $100. I think it was $100 on Amazon. So, but yeah, guys, your contributions keep this channel going. So, Pontius Pilot. This is funny. Okay, this is funny. Okay, Baron Colossus. Good line. That's a good line. That is a good line. Okay, so last thing, the other reason why Patek is doing this, why are they investing so much time? In a way, it's almost like they have their advanced research thing. The watches that they have the advanced research because what the advanced research line is they're always experimenting, right? They're innovating, and the advanced research is basically it's an opportunity for them to show off some of their some of their technology, and this stuff is an opportunity for them to show off whatever crazy technique. So I was actually having I was smoking a cigar, and I was drinking it's called Cynar, Cynar. It's like an Italian what is it? It's like what do they call it? It's not a amaro. It's like amaro. The regions, they all have their own thing. It's made out of like what are they called? Artichoke, like artichoke. It's a crazy flavor. It's like you have it after dinner. It's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it's incredible actually. So good with like a cigar afterwards, just for the right flavor. So yeah, so basically that's it, guys. That's what the whole idea of what Patek is doing here. That is the idea. The idea is they're going after a very, very unique clientele with these watches. This is incredible stuff, and it's worth keeping an eye on because a lot of the stuff that they learn, right? Because again, they look at this. Patek looks at this as a way to get new ideas, develop new techniques. It's part of their innovation, right? And they sell it. Obviously, they get paid for it. But I think we're going to see some of these ideas develop into other things down the road, and it's a way for them to differentiate themselves. Amaro, Amaro. Yeah, not amaretto. That's like something else. I think that's with something. It's a liqueur. This is not a liqueur. It's like an amaro. I don't know. It's like a grappa. So yeah. So basically, hang on a second. One more thing. Let me pull up here and yeah. Now, I think what we're going to see, by the way, guys, what do you think? Which watch, what did you see tonight that you thought was interesting? Which of these pieces do you think is, kind of the winner here? Now, let's go to, again, let me recap, and I'm going to finish on this note over here. The whole point of this is, how do you make money with this? How do you make money with this? In my opinion, humble opinion, I should say, because, oh, shit. Stop sharing again. Okay, hang on one second. Hang on a second. Share screen. Okay, so in my humble opinion, the way you do this, if you have the money, you assemble a collection of these pocket watches. That's the sweet spot. That is the play. You get the pocket watches. Oh, the Panda. Wow. Shit, the Panda is really good. The Panda is incredible. This is from 2021. I'm sure this is going to the Chinese market. This is, see, they got so many of these. They're not organized with where they put these things. This Panda is unbelievable. The engraving, not great, but the enamel is really nice. The green, beautiful green. Look at the Panda. This is marquetry, right? The marquetry. Look at the eyes of the Panda. The Panda, right? It's got the whites of the eyes. So he's looking at you. Or actually, he's looking to the side, which makes it even better, as he's eating. Oh, shit. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Okay, look at this Panda. This Panda is what is all about. This is probably done by the same person who did that egret, because the eyes show incredible technique, right? Okay, here we go. How do I get this? Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. There you go. Okay, like this, right? Okay, so, geez. What website is this? Okay. All right, so, you got this incredible, this guy's website is so bad. You got this incredible technique, right? You got the incredible technique over there. You got this incredible technique. Let me pull this up. Yeah, you got the incredible technique. The composition, everything is perfect. Look at the, what do you call it? The handle? What, I don't know what you call it. The handle at the top. It's like a bamboo shape. And you got a piece of, I'm sure that's jade. I'm sure it's the crown is a little piece of jade. Unbelievable. It's probably like I don't know what this goes for. But what you do is you assemble a collection of these pocket watches, not the watches. The wristwatches are a pass. I mean, it could be interesting. I don't think you're ever going to get your money back with the wristwatches. The clocks, I don't know, maybe. The wristwatches, I guarantee you nobody's paying attention. Very few people are paying attention to the wristwatches. It's not the YouTube. It's not the peasants on YouTube that are paying attention to the wristwatches. Yeah. And the move is you assemble a collection. You assemble a collection of the pocket watches, the ones that come on the stands. Let me just pull it up once more, just to give you one last look. One last look. Okay, here we go. Share this tab instead. Okay, boom. Okay. You get like 5 or 6 of these, and you're gonna be able to sell that for like $10 million or more, something like that. Some big money. Who does that? Well, there's a famous collector. His name is, I believe, Khalili. He's in London, and this guy Khalili, AD never calling. AD never calling. No, we're talking about the Patek Handcrafts. This is like very interesting stuff. And what this guy Khalili does is, I think he made all his money in real estate, right? So this guy, for kicks, he assembles these collections of like really like, I don't know, exotic stuff. Like he did a collection of enamels, collection of enamels. He published catalogs on it, and he exhibited in a museum, and then he sold it off to I think it was one of the sheikhs of Dubai or not Saudi Arabia, Dubai or Qatar, one of those places, for like, $50 million. So he probably put like 10 million into it, and he sold it for 50. It took him like 5 years. He had fun, and then he sold it. He probably just likes assembling it. Then he did one with, ivories. And by the way, ivory is kind of like, the problem with ivory is I think there's real issues dealing with ivory in the U.S. You can't. I think you can't really. It's like a nightmare to deal with ivory. But in Europe, I think you still can. It's kind of closing in. But so he put together a collection of ivories. Then he did one of something else, and he sells them all for big money. Very interesting guy. I could see a guy like that, like this guy Khalili, Khalili. I could see him putting together. Maybe he could be doing it right now. For all we know, he could be doing it right now. Right? We got one of these things coming up for auction in Hong Kong from Sotheby's on a couple of days, and he could be making a move. He might put together 10 of these, and the market will be cornered. 10 of these pocket watches on stands. He'll display it. The way to do this is the guy probably puts them in a special room in his house, right? And then, it's a beautiful room. They're all displayed well. You got special lights. You got the little pin lights, little spot pin lights and everything. And, you invite over the right people. They come to your house. They see this, and, you tell the guy, hey, take a look at the watch. He takes it off the stand. He holds it in his hand, and he's like, wow. And then you got to have the whole thing. And it's going to be like, I don't know, maybe 10 million, 20 million, 50 million. I don't know. What difference does it make? I mean, what difference does it make, really, what the price is, right? It could be, I don't know about 50, but it could be, 15 million, 10 million. Why not? So the money is, if any of you peasants, any of you peasants, aristocrats, either or, have the means, I would definitely focus on this pocket watch thing. But again, you're gonna need deep pockets because these are going for, I don't know, 500 grand and up at auction. Maybe when someone comes up, not one of these. I don't think one of these, but it's gonna be very interesting. Anyway, let me know what you think. Make sure you click the like and subscribe button. I'm gonna leave you with our special intro. We got the special intro over here. All right. Have a great night.